In this lecture, we'll discuss a very popular result which relates n cross n real matrix to its characteristic polynomial. And this result is known as the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. What this states is the following. Every matrix, let's say A, which is n cross n real matrix, satisfies its own characteristic polynomial, which essentially means this, that if you have a matrix A, n cross n real matrix A, and the corresponding characteristic polynomial is, let's say, lambda A of lambda, then if you substitute the matrix into the polynomial to generate a matrix polynomial, then this results in a zero matrix, of course, of the size n cross n. So this is what this Cayley-Hamilton theorem means. How do you prove this? It's easy to prove. A characteristic polynomial this can be broken down into two parts. One factor is this, and other factor, let's say, is this. This Q essentially represents the quotient, and the D here represents the divisor. And of course, the remainder is 0. So the divisor is such that what we'll do is we'll set the divisor to nothing but the minimal polynomial. Okay. If the divisor is the minimal polynomial, then the remainder is of course 0. We have this. Now, by definition of minimal polynomial, if you generate a matrix polynomial out of the minimal polynomial for the matrix A, then it is 0. This is by definition of minimal polynomial. So if you generate a matrix polynomial corresponding to A, or matrix polynomial A out of the characteristic polynomial, I can use the same quotient and the same divisor to write it in terms of two factors. But I already know that if the divisor is a minimal polynomial, then this has to be 0. Now 0 multiplied by the quotient, irrespective of whether the quotient is 0 or non-zero, has to be 0, which means the matrix polynomial of A generated out of the characteristic polynomial will always give you a 0 matrix. Okay, so this is what precisely the Cayley-Hamilton theorem states. Now, this is what is actually useful in finding values or in solving certain problems that involve a matrix. For example, let's say that I want to calculate a to the power 10 given some a which is 3 cross 3. Or let's say that I want to calculate exponential of at, where t is some scalar and a is a matrix. Or let's say I want to calculate a inverse or a inverse squared if the inverse of course exists. Okay. Or similarly, let's say I want to calculate something of is the exponential of a, let's say of this form. Okay. Or of this form. So how do you do this? One way, of course, is, for example, a power 10. Given a matrix, you multiply it 10 times, get whatever you have. A inverse, invert the matrix. A inverse squared, inverse a matrix and take a square of it. Okay. Similarly, exponential of at is a matrix exponential. So you basically, what you do is you solve the matrix exponential by taking the infinite series. Okay. So I'll tell you what the definition of matrix exponential is. Matrix exponential is defined as summation I equal to 0 to infinity. This is an infinite sum a t to the power I divided by I factorial. Okay, so this is essentially identity plus at plus at squared by 2 factorial, and this continues as an infinite sum. Okay, so you compute this and try to find out a closed form expression for each of the components. This is one way. Another way is to utilize something that has been derived from the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Okay, so suppose you want to solve for some function of f. So this a power 10 exponential of a power 80, a inverse square, or that weird looking polynomial that we have, they are all functions of a. Okay, so suppose you want to find what f of a, some function of a. I can always represent this as a quotient of a with a divisor of a. So here basically what I take is I have a function of a. I choose the matrix polynomial generated out of its corresponding characteristic polynomial as a divisor, and then I divide the function of a with this divisor, which is the matrix polynomial out of the characteristic polynomial. I get a quotient. Along with that, what I will get is a remainder. So this is the quotient, this is the divisor, and this is the remainder. Now we know that from Cayley-Hamilton theorem, a matrix satisfies its own characteristic polynomial. So the moment I choose a divisor which is derived from the characteristic polynomial of the matrix A, then the first part that you see here, this part, once you substitute the value of A, it goes to 0. So what we essentially have is whatever value the function will take, okay, that has to be equal to the value that the remainder will take with a substituted. Now, from division, from the knowledge of division, we know that if the divisor's degree is n, then the remainder's degree has to be less than n. Okay, so here the divisor's degree is n, so the remainder's degree has to be less than equal to n. So at best, what will be the remainder's degree? It will be 1 less, which is n minus 1. So what I can do is I can represent the remainder h of a as a polynomial. Let's say I equal to 0 to n minus 1. I'll say this is beta I a to the power I. So this is essentially a polynomial which is of this form: beta 0 in plus beta 1 a till beta n minus 1 a n minus 1. So this is a matrix polynomial of degree n minus 1. So essentially what I am saying is any function of a can be represented as a matrix polynomial of a with a degree n minus 1, with a maximum degree of n minus 1, where beta 0 till beta 0 beta 1 till beta n minus 1 are appropriate coefficients associated with the polynomial. For example, in this exponential of a power t, so beta 0 beta 1 till beta n minus 1 might be coefficients that account for this factor t. Similarly, for a power 10, beta 0 till beta n minus 1 might be coefficients that account for the factor 10. Okay, and so on. So now, with the fact that we have established that this holds, if we can solve for the coefficients, that is beta i's, then we can get the value of fa. By value I mean the function of fa that will generate a new matrix, what fa is. So what a power 20 is, or what exponential of 80 is, and so on. Okay, so we need to solve for this coefficients beta is. The question is, how do you solve? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.